By default in OpenTTD, passengers don't have a destination. You can take them from any city to any other city, and they'll be happy. You can even just take them a block or two down the street, and that'll satisfy their need to travel. While I admire the passion for logistics as much as the next guy, I can't help but want them to be a bit more demanding of my network design skills. Thankfully, the OpenTTD devs have had the foresight to know I'd make this demand, and they've included a cool feature called cargo distribution. Today, we'll enable cargo distribution, and I'll show you how to take a collection of little towns like this and turn them into a shining icon of interconnected passenger transit. Before we get around to doing the thing we want to do, we first need to understand what the thing we want to do is. And today, that is begins with enabling cargo distribution. To do that, just click Settings in the menu, search for Cargo, and select either asymmetric or symmetric distribution. I'd say probably learn from my mistakes and start off with symmetric. It's a bit easier and more straightforward. Now that cargo distribution is enabled, the train station window shows that passengers have different destinations they want to go to. Because they have specific places they want to go, I'll only get paid once they get to there. That demand ends up adding some interesting complexity and decision making to how you move people around. As you can see by having your eyes open while watching this video, we're going to use buses and trains to meet our demands. Buses for short journeys from the station and within the town, and trains to bring folks to other towns. We'll start off with the buses. In each town, we'll throw down a couple bus stops, then add the buses themselves in a little bit. In the smaller towns, 2 stops should be enough. In the bigger ones, we'll go with 3 for now. A nice tip is if you're having trouble seeing through the trees and buildings, you can hit X to make them see through, and you'll see me do that frequently in this playthrough. Now that we've built the stops, it's time to add in the buses. For each town, we'll start off with 1 bus and set it out to record the initial timetable. If you don't like your buses bunching up, timetables are great to look into. There are guides online, and let me know if you'd like me to make a video on how timetables work. If not, whatever dude, see if I care. Now that our buses have recorded their timetables, we'll add a few more to each town. And once those have been set free, it's finally time to slap down some trains. We'll start off with Whitcomb and Chunhall. For each train station, we'll make sure they've got a bus stop attached so that people can use buses to get to trains and vice versa. After getting Whitcomb set up, we'll do the same over with Chunhall, and then figure out how to hook them together. I start off a bit over-ambitious with my approach, and then quickly realize that I'll be better off if I hook up these 2 towns, and then figure out the junction later. After waiting for 20 minutes, because I'm running this on a server so that I can record multiple camera angles and can't fast forward, we have enough money for a train, and it's time to move some passengers. Citizens celebrate. Now, it's time to go back to that junction that troubled us earlier, so that we can hook up the rest of the towns. It's a tight space, but it's a cool little puzzle, and we end up with something that I think looks pretty interesting. Once that's done, it's time to get our 3rd town hooked up. We'll struggle with barely having enough money to build some tracks, but deep down in our hearts, we know it's worth the effort. The mountainside tracks must be beautiful this time of year. Plus, the good people of Lindhatten are desperate to take a circuitous and indirect train ride instead of just driving down the street to visit their neighbors in Whitcomb, and we're happy to oblige. After hooking up the station to the train network, all we need to do is tell our train to also head on over. Then, we'll throw down a bus stop, and we're good to go. Citizens celebrate. And finally, we've just got 1 more town to go. We'll toss down a beefy bridge to span the entrance of the bay, and whack down a train station and a bus stop in Windberg. Then, we'll draw the rest of the train tracks. Once that's done, once again we just need to tell our train to head on over, and that's most of it. A final few tweaks, and we'll be able to call this network good. Since we want to add more trains, we'll benefit from increasing the overall capacity of the network. The easiest way to do this is to add some more passing sidings. This landscape is pretty constricting, but with some creativity, we managed to figure out good spots to place them. The most important thing is that they're long enough that a train can fully fit into one. Otherwise, other trains can't pass by, and there's not a lot of point to a passing siding if you can't pass by each other. And that's pretty much it. The network is largely done. We've got train stations in each town, buses bringing folks to and from the trains, and on the left you can see all 4 train stations with quite a few passengers ready to go. From here, we just want to add in some more trains and buses, make some more tweaks, and generally aim at making sure everyone can get where they want to go. It's fun to watch your network run, add more vehicles, and generally see where the bottlenecks show up, but honestly, not the most interesting content for me to throw together. So for now, all I have left to say is, bye!